Vann here, recording from home. Typically, we record the podcast at Steam Theory Brewing Company here in Dallas. And speaking of Steam Theory, they are doing to-go orders and curbside pickup. You can even grab their beer to go. This is their Singularity Blonde Ale that is now in a can. On this episode, I have a virtual chat with Bachelorette Season 15 and Bachelor in Paradise Season 6, Old Matt Donald. We talked about, of course, the show, and we even talked some sports. Actually, both of our dogs made on-camera appearances. He has a brand new puppy, Nacho, and then my Chihuahua, Chewy, joined in as well. Well, I hope you enjoy. Charlie Vann here with Old Matt Donald. How you doing, man? And how are you kind of holding up during this time?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I'm holding up. I'm going crazy, man. To be honest with you, this quarantine's really, I'm like over it already. It's been long.
How are you kind of passing the time? Are you binge watching anything? I know like Tiger King's like the number one thing everybody seems to be glued to right now.
So I watched Tiger King. Believe it or not, I've watched it 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And I have a reason for it. The first time I was kind of like messing around on my phone throughout the whole season, wasn't really paying close attention. And then towards the end of the episodes, I was like, what happened? Like a lot of these stories don't make sense. I'm like, well, I need to pay attention to it better. So then some of my roommates started watching it. So I started kind of tuning in again on the second time. And then I started understanding it more. And then the third time, it was just like, you know what? I honestly found this so entertaining. I got to watch it again. So there's been a lot of, I've been watching a lot of TV during this quarantine for sure. I've been running a lot, I guess, because it's a nice way to get outside. And I've been social distancing that way. I just got a puppy, so he's definitely...
Yeah, Nacho, I saw online.
Yeah, he's over here. He's looking like he's about to pee. Nacho, come here. Come here.
How is dog dad life? Oh, wow, it's a big puppy.
Dude, he put on like 15 pounds in the last week.
Wow. So he's quarantine eating too, I assume.
Yeah, well, he's quarantined not by choice. He still hasn't gotten all of his shots yet, so we're keeping
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got him lined up for shots in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, he's kind of going stir crazy like the rest of us. But it's been great. I've been able to spend so much time with him.
And he's is he a lab? Is he a mix?
He's a golden retriever.
He's a golden. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, those are good dogs from what I hear.
Yeah, they are, but man,
I got mine right here. He's my assistant, nice. Chewy, Chihuahua. He's not a puppy, but he acts like it sometimes.
What's his name?
Chewy.
Oh, Chewy, I love that. Yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy, but he's like, awesome. You're here all day. He's actually 5.
Oh, okay. So he's still pretty young.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate lap dog. Like right now, he'll just be sitting during this whole interview. Just
I'm trying to get Nacho like that, dude. The last thing I want is a dog who's just like distant and not around all the time, you know?
Yeah, I think with golden retrievers, I mean, they seem to be pretty good dogs and well trained. I know a couple of people have them, especially, Joe Rogan. I mean, he has one. He's always taken his on hikes and runs. So
yeah, that's the plan. Once he gets old enough, definitely I want to have like one of those belt collar or leashes that people run with, so they don't have to hold the leash. I've already got it all picked out. I've got my 5 years plan with this guy.
Well, how's life been since the Bachelor? And it's almost coming a year since you were on both Bachelorette and Paradise.
Yeah, I mean, everything's cool. Everything's been great. Like it's people think my life has changed like a 180, but it hasn't at all. It's like it's literally the exact same, except that I got on camera for a little bit, but I'm still working a normal 9-to-5 job. Still doing the normal things that everyone else does. Still go to the grocery store. I still put my pants on the same way everyone else does. It's not like a life-changing thing.
When you go to the store, do people pick you out of the crowd? Does anybody stop you for pictures?
No, not really. Yeah, not really. LA's
yeah,
I mean,
there's some
yeah, you see
it's probably
like
normal out there.
Yeah, you see Brad Pitt walk by and you're like, oh, cool. But
now have you been back to your hometown since?
I went home for Thanksgiving, yeah. It's a little different there just because it's a small town and, everyone knows everybody. So, yeah. But it's been fun. I mean, it's always nice to get recognized. It's fun to hear stories of like people talking about like, oh, me and my dad watch it every week and we loved you and this and that, or you were so funny. Like that stuff makes me feel good. I really appreciate messages like that.
Well, coming from your perspective, what was it to like relive that, rewatch everything back, especially Paradise? Because Paradise seemed like a lot of fun.
Well, first for the Bachelorette, I didn't realize like when I went home, I didn't think it was going to be a situation where there's going to be so much support after the show. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, here's my 1 minute of being on a camera and then piecing out. And then, there it goes. But they actually reached out to me the day after I came home from filming, which was only a day, and asked about Paradise. So it was very cool to hear that. But watching my Paradise was fun. It was definitely some stuff you watch back. You're like, I'm like, Matt, come on, dude. Like, you're so much better than this. But it was a good time.
Do you feel like it was kind of more the camera pressure or just...
Yeah, definitely. It was all camera pressure, dude. You know what? I couldn't even, before like getting on TV.
What was more nerve-wracking? What was more nerve-wracking? Making your collegiate debut against Winthrop or preparing a kiss on Paradise?
Wait, how did you know? Did Arian tell you?
We do our research on this podcast. But yeah. So were there things that we didn't really get to see, from you that were depicted at all?
No, not really. I guess you don't get to see. I mean, obviously, I was sweating a lot, but what you guys don't get to see is that, like, when you do interviews, they have it. So you got to imagine it's already really hot there. And there's no AC, nothing. And I was doing an interview beforehand, and in the interviews they have these bulbs because the lighting has to be really good. And the bulbs add like an extra 10 to 15 degrees. So like that's why I was sweating so much, just because I was just sitting there doing an interview just with these heaters essentially on me in the already hot, humid Mexico. Plus being really nervous, and then everyone asking me when I was going to do it and putting pressure on me, and I was just like going crazy. My anxiety was through the roof, as you guys saw.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seemed like a kind of tense, but at the same time, it seemed like you were still having a lot of fun doing handstands in the hot tub, and so I mean,
had a blast.
I mean, you got to have fun with it, right? I mean,
that was my mindset. Just like be myself, have fun with it. Don't take life too seriously. Put yourself out there, but also like enjoy yourself too. I mean, you got to think it's kind of a free vacation.
Well, you were talking about just a second ago how you really kind of wish there was more that you were able to show. What were you like in college during soccer around those guys? Like, did you feel also, we asked Connor about this because he was a competitive swimmer and how that might have helped him being around teammates going into like the Bachelor match. And I know you had kind of a short stint with Bachelorette, but just being from the mansion to Paradise, how do you feel like your soccer days kind of helped you around other people?
That's a really, I've never been asked that before. I like that question. I think it's just after growing up playing, soccer competitively and in college, it's that, there's two directions you can go when you're nervous. It's either you rise to the occasion or you don't. And so like having that mindset, and then also something I've always learned about sports, and this is something I didn't do a good job executing on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette for Hannah's season, is that like you can use your nervousness and mask it with confidence, and that's something I didn't do on The Bachelor, where it's like, playing soccer, you never want to show fear, right? Like you're playing any sport, you don't want to show your competitors you're nervous, so you mask that with confidence. And that should have been applied on The Bachelorette, but I just didn't. I was just so nervous I couldn't even hide it. So,
well, either way, like you said, I mean, it seemed like you had a good time, and I think
awesome.
that's. Do you still keep in contact with a lot of your former cast members?
Yeah, I do. I definitely a lot of them. We have a group chat. There's some of us who live in LA, so we all hang out. It's been good. Like this is definitely the spot to be in terms of the Bachelor world. There's a lot of Bachelor people, kind of like Dallas. I know Dallas has got a lot of. Bachelor
Dallas
support.
does have Dallas is I feel like I could be wrong by 20% Bachelor. I mean, there's quite a few.
It's like I feel like it's like the capital Bachelor.
Well, you had I mean, of course, Chris Harrison. He's from
Yeah.
soccer player as well, former soccer player.
I know.
Chris Harrison. We actually went to the same high school. Obviously, not the same era or decade, but he played soccer for the high school I went to.
Where he played at Colgate or something, didn't he? Where did he play at?
Oklahoma City University. He went to. Yeah. He went to Oklahoma City, but Lake Highlands High School here in Dallas, and then of course Rachel Lindsay's from Dallas, and then Sean Lowe. So there's quite a few Dallas people that go on. JoJo. So. Which is cool.
Connor's
cool
from Dallas too, right?
Yeah. He went to SMU here in Dallas. He's originally from Michigan, but I spent quite a few times. Dallas is fun. There's a lot to do. You definitely got to come down. See our mutual friend Arian. He was excited.
I love Dallas. I've been to Dallas a couple of times. I have a good friend who lives in Dallas, so
it's fun. Just minus that June or July.
Oh, dude,
humid.
I was
we're sweating like you did on Paradise. Just come.
It's just normal there.
And you have a background in medical sales. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I still work in medical sales actually. So that's kind of what I do from Monday through Friday. It's just right now it's kind of tough because obviously you can't interface with customers, but a lot of emails, a lot of calls, all that stuff.
So a lot of virtual meetings. Because I was going to ask you how everything's going impacted your job in particular.
Fortunately enough, I haven't, in terms of compensation and things like that, haven't really been affected. I mean, my sales have gone down just because it's the nature of but the fact we still can provide a need for patients right now is definitely good. So it's been okay. It's been I still have a job. So I'm super thankful. Yeah.
What is your advice to anybody in the future that's going to go on the show that may have those nerves with them, especially from that night one?
Dude, just realize it's not the biggest deal. It's fun. It's, just be cool. It's and people can vouch for me who've been on the show. It's like the first night's nervous and then the nerves go away and then you wonder why you were so nervous the first night. And that's the best way to describe it for me.
Now, going back to that experience, were you hoping also, because they always do competitions, especially on the Bachelorette, were you hoping that they were going to do it? Because you went to a school that had a famous Derby Day. Talk about that. And what is Derby corn?
Dude, you've done your research. Did you talk to Aaron about this? So
we like to do a little research investigation, a little bit.
I don't know if Arian told you, but the soccer team never got to experience. I never got to experience a Derby Day because we always had a soccer game that either that day or an away game or a practice. Our coaches specifically scheduled set because Derby Day got kind of wild at our school. It was. I mean, I've heard stories.
There's tug of war, right?
Yeah, tug of war. There's inflatable. There's a bunch of inflatable. It's like a carnival for college kids. And I mean, if there's college kids around, you know what they're doing. So it was, from what I heard, it was just this wild experience.
Well, when you're not at home, what are some fun things that you like to do? What are some hobbies around town?
Yeah, definitely like to go to the beach. I live, 12 blocks from the beach. Like to go running, like to work out, like to play sports. Get a drink or two, the typical stuff. I hate that question because it always makes me sound such unoriginal. I wish I could say
I brought it up because I read, do you like to salsa dance? I read somewhere.
I don't know why that was there. I have no idea why.
So do they just throw around they may, I will say, if you want to sweat more, try. I've taken up salsa a little bit before all this happened. I'll tell you what, the sweat that you build up doing. I mean, it is a workout. It's so.
I can only imagine. Yeah, no, I can definitely imagine. I don't know why. I don't even know how to salsa. I can kind of salsa, but not. No, you wouldn't catch me in Miami, being a salsa king.
Those could be future goals. There you go.
Yeah. That's what my 5 to 10 year plan is: to go to Miami and just break out my salsa skills.
Have you started watching "Listen to Your Heart," the new Bachelor series, which I think is a very interesting concept with the music?
Yeah, no, it's been good so far. I'll be honest with you, I'm not big on like music, like movies or shows like The Voice or American Idol. I'm not really big on it, so I lose a little bit of interest. I've been hooked on Love Is Blind on Netflix.
Yeah, the pod, like that.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite? I mean, what was a couple that you really enjoyed the most?
Definitely Cameron and Lauren for sure.
Lauren were great.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, they had the best chemistry, I feel.
Oh, for sure, man. You watch that and you're like, dang, like I want that. That's pretty cool. They seem awesome on Instagram and stuff like that. So they're definitely my two favorites.
Well, speaking of confidence early, that definitely takes a lot of confidence just going where you're not able to see and build off of just, your voice and your conversations.
Well, it's a really interesting concept because like it makes you wonder. So like they have these emotional connections, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they see each other, do you think they're naturally attracted to each other because they know their personalities? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, how much of it is like, oh, I think he's like my type or she's my type, or is it she's my type because I know her so well? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's interesting to watch. It's like a really cool human experiment, in my opinion.
No, it is. Well, only a couple ended up obviously are still together. Amber and Barnett and Cameron and Lauren, and now Gigi and Damon got back after. I'll tell you what, that was the most awkward episode at the altar. Because it's not 100% that they're going to say yes. I mean, I could not imagine. I don't know how you rebound from that, but apparently they were able to
on Netflix too, like on a broadcasted channel where like you're left at the altar. Like they do a great job. I mean, the fact that they make them have to wait until they get to the altar to break it off, it's like typical reality TV.
But what's intriguing too, the whole pod is like a barrier. But I mean, we kind of. Outside of that, I mean, think about like online dating and texting. So, and even right now, so many people are having a message, kind of make that first move. So, but to, utilize your voice, like it just kind of shows another area how you can build that attraction and kind of where we are, like I said, overall today, like where we're always virtually, texting each other.
Blue, for sure. Dude, could you imagine like if we didn't have technology during quarantine?
We would be writing notes.
We'd be going crazy. I couldn't even imagine. I think people just wouldn't listen and go out in public and not social distance.
Yeah. It would be interesting if this was like even 10, 15 years ago. Because like even with like internet, like late 90s, I mean, still I would say like as far as virtual, what was it? 2003, 4, 5, 6 were in all YouTube and all this. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you have your CD player, you go over that first 2, 3 songs that you like.
Oh my gosh, I'd be banging my head against the wall. Or imagine like, I remember growing up, my sister would be on the phone. I couldn't use the internet until she got off. Like that.
Oh, did you have Internet America?
I can't remember what it was, to be honest with you.
I just remember you hit that little dial tone. It's like
yes, that's it.
It was so slow.
Oh my gosh. I remember just yelling at my sister to get off the phone. Like,
yeah.
Please. I had to get on my AIM and text and email checks.
Or how about, AIM and AIM chat? Although I'm not going to lie, I still have an AOL account. People are like, you still have that? I'm like,
message.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of roll with it. There's not too many of those. It just brings like Blockbuster. Like if you still have your Blockbuster like card or gift card, like my Blockbuster now is a sports bar. I mean, it's still fun, in a way.
I know, but it's crazy to think like Netflix is literally just taking everything off the market, like Blockbuster, Hollywood Videos, all those.
Well, even Amazon. I mean, Amazon Prime does Amazon Video, and I mean, any streaming right now. I mean, that's the world. So that's the big thing. I'm wondering with everything going on, how's this really going to affect movie theaters, especially coming back with new releases.
I like movie theater. It's not even like the actual watching the movie. It's the experience itself. Like getting popcorn with your friends, like setting a plan and like going into the theater. Like I hope that doesn't go extinct.
Yeah, there is something about just going and being in a theater and the screen, the trailers.
Yeah, the loud like shaking of the movie theater.
Like you said, the popcorn smell. Are you a candy guy? Do you like candy?
I do like candy, but like I'm not. I know some people who like are fiends. I can like walk by the grocery store and not have to pick up a candy bar kind of guy.
So like at the theater, you're just popcorn only, just no popcorn and candy.
Yeah, usually popcorn. Yeah.
Well, now half the theaters are almost like studio movie grills and that, where they have the full beer, the burgers, pizza,
$75 milkshakes.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
you already spent like $30 to get in, and then it's like another $40.
That's what it gets you. The tip is like $15 already agreed.
Yeah.
You're like, dang.
So if you're on a date or anything covering, I mean, you're spending near $100.
Oh yeah, I mean that's on the low end, and then imagine you take them out for dinner too beforehand. They got to be someone special.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of the thing. What is since we're just kind of rebounding back to like the Bachelor and dating, not to give away, I asked Connor this, but not to give away your secrets, your dating secrets, but what are you like for a first date? What's your ideal you like to do? Do you like to just kind of keep it simple, or do you, like you just mentioned, dinner, movie?
Yeah, I definitely like, I don't like movies on the first date because I like to like get to know the person, obviously. And when you're watching a movie, you can't do that. So like a nice dinner is definitely something, or like going to the beach or somewhere where we're conversating the whole time and there's not really a distraction. Because I feel like you can do that, on the 5th or 6th date when you've really gotten to know somebody. So definitely some sort of date where there's a lot of conversation being had. So like a dinner, for example, would be perfect. Or like going to the beach and like hanging out on a bench or something like that.
Going back to, High Point University, was there a popular date spot for the college students that people would go?
Not really, dude. I was broke. I didn't have any money.
I definitely feel you.
Yeah, college is tough. No, not really. Trying to think. No date spots. No dates. Actually, I was going to mention my aunt and uncle live in Varnell, North Carolina. So that's how I know a little bit about. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. Now that I think about it, a good date spot. We had a 5-star steakhouse on campus. I'm sure you've heard of. Have you heard about that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh well, yeah. We had like a 5-star steakhouse on our campus that we could use like a dining thing with.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to pay for it. So like, yeah, there were times where like I would take a girl, like I took a girl on Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day there once. And it's like so romantic, but you also have to remember like we're not paying a single, well, I mean, in our tuition, but it's not coming out of my bank account. It's not coming out of her bank account. So
yeah. I mean, that's actually awesome. I mean, that's a good perk by the university. I mean, to have.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really good.
So what are some spots there now in California that you like to go to, that you like to hang out at?
Oh, there's a ton of spots, man. Tons of good restaurants. There's a ton like just right along the beach, taco bars, American grills. There's obviously like bars to get a drink. There's Elefante and Bungalow, which are two really well-known bars in California. Oh man, there's just so much, dude. That's why I love it here so much. I'm from the East Coast, so it's definitely a change of pace.
Because you came from like originally like a small town, right there in Maryland.
Yeah, Frederick, Maryland. It's really small town.
Have you heard? I'm sure you might have been to a place called Dempsey's.
Yeah, in Middletown.
The French toast, is that? I've heard French toast there is pretty good.
Dude, Dempsey's is like right down the street from my house.
Yeah, so but
That's
sometimes
crazy.
a small town restaurant feels though, like you could be in a big city. Like my mom's from a small town in East Texas, and whenever we go out there, it's just something about those small town restaurants. And I mentioned my aunt and uncle in North Carolina are in a small area. I love those kind of small town diners. There's just something about them.
Well, yeah, it's funny. My parents go there every Saturday morning to get breakfast. That's like their thing. And there's so many other people who do the exact same thing my mom and dad do. Every Saturday morning, they go to Dempsey's for breakfast. Like that's like the thing in our town. That's so crazy.
That's cool though.
It is. It's like the movies. Like you see the movies, the small towns, everyone goes to like that one spot. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it's like in my town, in my little town that I grew up in.
Yeah, there's a couple places like, well, I'm sure quite a few, but a few that I can pinpoint here in Dallas where You'll see the same people every day. There's a place called Poor Richards in Plano, Texas, which is a little right outside of Dallas. You'll see the same groups over there eating breakfast.
It's home though. It's like home.
Yeah.
I love that.
Everybody knows you. The food is always great. Well, that's like Steam Theory, where our mutual friend Arian works at. I mean, you'll see a lot of regulars and coming in and out. Are you a beer guy or are you more spirits?
I would say a beer guy, but if you ask me like different types of ales or IPAs, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm simple. I just had like a 6-pack of Coors Light over the weekend. It's not. So I don't know. It depends on the occasion. I get asked that a lot.
Yeah. Well, California, I mean, there's a lot of breweries, and especially right now. I mean, I'm sure even back home, there's breweries popping up.
There is. Yeah. There's like little microbreweries, which I love, it's so cool to see in a little tiny town. Yeah.
I mean, here, every corner's a brewery. I mean, that's like the new in thing, but I mean, hey, Coors Light, it'll get you by. Do you like going to like little lounges and stuff like kind of live music lounges? Because sometimes some of those places have really good old fashions. Next time you come to Dallas, whether you're into jazz music or not, there's a cool little jazz place called the Balcony Club. They make a really good old fashioned.
Do they? Yeah, it just depends on the vibe. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. It's so hard to generalize. Yeah. I'm very spontaneous in terms of like what the vibe is, you know what I mean?
But that's good. Yeah. So you just kind of go with the flow. I think that's kind of a really positive mindset to have.
But I'm also a creature of habit, so it's like I like to go to the same place.
Yeah. I guess that's with a lot of people. I'm the same. Like I'll be at Steam Theory. Sometimes if I'm not there, Arian's like, where have you been? It's been a while. There's a couple of places like that. And it's good because the people know you know the atmosphere.
Right.
You're never
gives you a little sense of welcoming and warmth and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what we said about the restaurant, back in your hometown where everybody just goes, everybody knows your name. I mean, that's
right.
That's a popular thing. So, so as far as any kind of movies, are you watching anything right now outside of like you just binge watch Tiger King 3 times, which I think everybody is.
Yeah, no, I can't really think of anything. The Last Dance, I recorded it. I've only seen the first episode. I gotta watch the second one tonight. That looks like it's gonna be an awesome documentary.
That does look good. I haven't seen it either, but everyone's tweeting about it, and I'm like, I know what to binge watch now.
I wish I was around in the early '90s to kind of see what that was like.
I knew a glimpse of it. I remember the '96 Olympic, like Jordan right around that time, because I'm 32, and so I remember a little bit, but of course Space Jam, that kind of
course
reintroduced them or introduced them to some new, he was on everybody's wall, I'm sure, like Michael Jordan. So but yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see it. I know you are a sports fan. What do you think about with everything going on? What's your thoughts with sports? Are you pretty positive, right? Trying to be positive on, when we're going to get back to this and,
yeah, I mean, it sucks. I'm a big EPL, English Premier League fan. So they've pushed that back. I'm curious what they're going to do about that. Football, luckily, I was really bummed about the XFL. I was excited about
it was. I was really hoping that
they can't catch a break.
Yeah. It's like it's rebirth, and a lot of people are getting excited. Like I would watch the games, and the stadiums were pretty packed, and just to have it cut short like that. And now you don't even know I know it's up. I think up for sale right now. So who knows?
Poor Vince McMahon, dude.
I know. Well, he's also got the WWE right now, and not doing shows without attendance, I'm sure, has got to be a little bit of a challenge as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I can't believe they're still doing that. That's crazy. Hopefully we'll be out of it soon, though, man. It's all just really crummy.
Yeah, I mean, and we got the draft coming up, NFL draft
Thursday.
Too. Yeah. So
I just
that's a big question about Mark too. Like when would we start this?
Right. Well, it's funny. I was watching. They had just announced that they did a demo of the live draft, but they had a glitch. So like they're making this huge deal. Like, we tried to do like a little trial period. We can't even get it right. So it's like, man, this is what we've come to. Like it sucks.
I mean, I don't think anybody thought going into this year there would be digital draft that would even have to go that way.
No,
but
definitely.
you know, unfortunately, it is what it is. But we'll move forward. I'm still excited to see who gets drafted. Who's your team as far as NFL?
The Redskins.
The Redskins. Hey, I mean, you know, I mean, that's not, I'm a Cowboys fan, but hey, I will say this as a Cowboys fan, I'm a realist, and I love players too, and you know, I'm actually intrigued to see what you guys do. How is your thoughts on Case Keenum?
Yeah, well,
like, are you
develop more of a rivalry with the Eagles now? It's more so like the Eagles Cowboys than it was the Redskins anymore.
Yeah, I think there was more friendliness with the Redskins just because of Thanksgiving for years. That was the game. Do you play any of the games, like any of the sports games at all?
Like video games?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean,
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I've been playing Call of Duty, but the only reason I have is because I'm just so bored during this quarantine. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I try not to get involved in video games. I can get on binges with the video games.
You're not on Twitch or anything like that? That's like the thing now. It's like
Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch. It's like that video game streaming. You can watch other people play games. A lot of athletes stars have been doing it now. Twitch.
People are probably like gambling money and stuff on it too, I would imagine.
I'm sure I would not be great in that though. I would probably cry.
Yeah, me too. I think I saw on ESPN.
I also get so mad.
Oh, for sure. Well,
camping.
It's so like randomized.
Yeah, you get there's always that person, Halo, Call of Duty, as they say, camps, and you're like, where are you? And like, I'm the type of like, this isn't even fun anymore. Like
the guy with the sniper, like,
it's like
you from this spot.
Probably a 15-year-old, 16-year-old that this is all they do. It's funny. Yeah. Video game just stresses me out. Even the story mode, sometimes it's like, because you get so invested, like you're like, why am I so invested?
Your eyes are stinging when you're playing. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I try to avoid it. I'm just like, you know what? I'm like you. I'm just going to go run. Go run.
Get outside and enjoy it. I always feel better when I run than beating a level on a video game.
Yeah, I mean, running. And also, are you a biker too? Do you like to cycle at all?
No, not really.
Just more running?
Yeah, just big run.
Well, see, like, I'm really the same. And my buddy that I do a craft beer podcast with, he just got a bike, and like, he's like, yep, fell off of it. I'm like, that's why I don't do. I'd be in the bushes, like I'd be on the ground, like I don't know.
When the handle starts shaking, you know you're about to just eat it. Oh, that's the worst feeling.
Well, you got the people out there when you go to the lakes and the trails. They're like, they think they're Lance Armstrong, like they're just flying by you.
Out.
I would eat it. Like I have eaten it a couple of times. Like, you know what? I trust my feet.
No. Yeah, I think I'd do better just running.
Yeah, and you just pop in your headphones, have a Rocky montage, you know, out there. You know, the only thing you have to worry about is branches on the ground or potholes. There's a lot of potholes in Dallas sometimes.
Yeah, or like dodging a car or something like that.
What's the best kind of running spot there in LA? I mean, I'm sure there's quite a few, but one that you particularly enjoy.
Right now I haven't been doing it, but there's like a boardwalk along the beach. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Tons of people go out and run on there. And it's flat, so that's like where I run pretty much every day.
Oh, that Santa Monica, that pier out there?
Yep,
that's a nice one. I love Santa Monica. I have a buddy in West Hollywood, so we would go out there to the beach, and I love that pier. Like it's
the best. Yeah, I'm like literally right there. I couldn't ask for a better spot, man. It's awesome here.
I'll tell you what, that water though is pretty chilly.
Well, I haven't gone into it once since I've lived here. So,
really?
Yeah, it's really cold.
Yeah, it's like the East Coast, a little bit different because my dad's from Miami, so we grew up going to Florida. So the beach there obviously warm, and then going to Santa Monica, I'm like, what is this? And it's like July, and the water is so cold. You're like,
still cold, right? Yeah, and Miami, the water gets like hot almost. It's like uncomfortable.
I mean, Miami, you're going to also be sweating like you did on camera.
Oh gosh, the humidity there is ridiculous.
I remember we flew in. It's actually the only time that I've been in Miami because his parents lived outside of Orlando. But when we went in, we were just drenched coming off the plane. Like it was.
You can't even. Yeah, I was there in February and it was still really hot. I was like still sweating.
It's
Good
a different
gosh, man.
climate. Like, I don't know
I
how
don't
you
know how
wear
people live
pants.
there. Honestly.
Well, it's like even here, like if you go downtown Dallas in July, and all those people that wearing suits and stuff, I'm like, I don't know how you're doing it. Like, I hope your work has a shower or you're wearing extra deodorant because
Oh,
it
because
just
it was just
gets so miserable.
Dallas is like I mean, I'm assuming it's like Austin. I went to Austin in September and it was so hot there.
Yeah.
Even at night, it was just unbearably hot.
Oh, and then once you go to Houston, I mean, that's a whole nother story.
Oh, is
Houston,
it?
the Gulf. Oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty miserable. Like,
But the winters, it gets pretty cold. It gets in the 40s in the wintertime.
it can.
Right?
It can. I mean, honestly, it was like 50s the other day here. The weather in Texas, though, that's the only crazy part. Is like 1 minute it's 80. Like last week, it was like 90 something, high 90s, and now it's been in the 50s. I think today's like 70s. So
It's all over the place.
yeah, your utility bill is up and down based on how you're adjusted.
That's kind of how. Yeah, Santa Monica. It's like it usually is typically kind of even, but recently it was like last week was raining in like the low 60s. Next week's supposed to be in the 80, like mid 80s, but that's pretty average, I guess. It's pretty normal.
Because it gets up to what, 90 maybe in the
Yeah,
summer?
typically not that hot. Like it doesn't go above 95.
Yeah, I remember the last time I was out in LA, it was like September 2018. And it was warm. I think it was like 90, but then I got back to Dallas. It's like, man, I want to get back on that plane. go back to, I'll take that 90. Because you guys kind of have like a little bit more, especially like near Nevada, the dry heat more out that way.
Yep. I like it personally better than humidity because I don't sweat as much. But.
Well, I mean, yeah, the humidity is what makes the heat because it's 9 o'clock at night here and you're just sweating going to wherever restaurant, store. Nobody's wearing jeans, like shorts, like clubs are like, you can't come in. I'm like, well, I don't want to.
Yeah. Do you want me to just sweat all over your?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I guess, a part of Texas. Well, we're going to wrap things up, but thank you very much again, Matt, for taking the time. And hopefully we get to do this again. Where can people find you on social media?
My Instagram, old Matt Donald 22. That's pretty much all. But I mean, I don't.
That is a good nickname, though. I mean, that is a good slogan.
Yeah, well, I didn't just come up with it. It's been people have been calling me that since day one. So it just works out that way.
Did you have was that your nickname on the soccer team too, or did you have another nickname?
Oh, I had a ton of nicknames. Old Matt Donald wasn't one of them though. It was some guys called me Frat or like Frat Donald or Frat Daddy D because I was in a fraternity and I was not very many soccer players were in a fraternity at the time.
What fraternity?
I was a Pi Kappa Phi.
Okay, I was friends with Pi. I was I don't know if High Point. I Beta Theta Pi.
We did, yeah.
The singing fraternity.
What's that?
Well, we're known as the singing fraternity because we'd always go and like serenade and we just saw.
Oh, nice. Well, they were there like my senior year, so they were just now developing. So I didn't get to really get to know who they were that well, but yeah, no, everyone seemed really cool. They were like the really smart fraternity on our campus.
Yeah, there's I think MIT. I remember when they installed MIT chapter, like, well, we're not competing for best grades. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're going to have to get a weighted 5.0 GPA now.
Yeah. I just remember like whenever we would go sing, like my, we all have bigs and grandbigs. My grandbig was a music major and he would do opera. And we're like, Andrew, you can take it away. You can.
Yeah, I'll let you take over.
Were you ever an active chair in the fraternity?
I was. Yeah, I was a philanthropy chair for 2 years.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's such a cool thing to be a part of and developing those fundraisers. What was your guys' main fundraiser?
So I think now it's called the Ability Experience, just helping people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. So we would raise money and do like these really cool events. Like we did a bike-a-thon, 24-hour bike-a-thon. One of them we'd like buy like an old car and then just smash it, and people would pay money to take a bat and just start hitting it during finals week. Just like that kind of fun stuff.
Let out that stress.
Yeah, exactly. What else did we do? We made a calendar. That was my favorite project. I took pictures of everybody and put it like each month. It was really, I wish I could get my hands on one. There were some really funny pictures. We really flirted with like student life though. Like we really tested our boundaries with what was allowed and what wasn't.
Well, real quick, do you feel like your time in the fraternity helped you with your job now? Just because, with Rush and everything, and obviously philanthropy, raising money and that and approaching people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. Because you kind of have to go out of your comfort zone to rush and do all that kind of stuff. And then pledging is never like a piece of, a walk in the park either. So
I was recruitment chair, and it could be a task. I mean, it was a fun experience getting to meet people, but it's not always easy grabbing people to want to rush a fraternity.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine being a recruitment chair. That you're totally right. Because everyone says the same thing, right? Like, oh, it'll change your life. Our fraternity's the best, blah, blah, blah. But it's getting people out there and doing things that make them uncomfortable and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Well, Matt, I know that is the final question. When you mentioned fraternity life, it's like whenever fraternity people meet, even if they're not blind, it's like, oh, hey,
it's a little family.
Yeah. Well, Matt, you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you again, and hopefully we stay in touch.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you, Charlie. Thanks for having me on, man.